We originally started with around, I would say around 10 to 20 of us. It was through like word of mouth and like other organizations that we were reaching out to, and doing different like news interviews. And I'd never really had press training. I feel like Renee Rapp sometimes when they're asking me to do press, because I was like, I don't know what to say.
So I grew up in a small town in Jersey, where over 16% of my community lives below the poverty line, including 22% of children under the age of 18. I went to high school where I became a gun violence survivor after my high school was swatted, and police officers armed with assault rifles kicked down my door and told me to run for my life. I shared my story on behalf of the thousands of students my age who are no longer with us due to gun violence. I shared my story with all of you today who share the struggles of not knowing what's next, the fear of the future, and the systemic barriers of the present.
How many shootings this year have you like had to talk with people? Not even just about what you were
So
saying,
many.
just like to console and everything.
We're 4 months into the year now, and I think probably at least 7 or 8 people. And I think the stat again could be out of date by now, but I believe there are roughly 87 school shootings this year, and we're in the start of May, and I think CNN only covered 8 of them. So they're only covering less than a tenth of what's actually happening in our schools. There's been a lot of times where it's like, okay, like I was just talking with my team a little bit lately, going through that and doing a gun violence prevention organization is incredibly triggering. Not going to sugarcoat it. And so there have been, especially lately, where my mental health was a lot worse. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to focus a little bit more on doing some of our LGBTQ work, and let my team handle a lot more of the gun violence prevention, so I'm not being triggered as frequently doing this. And I think the main thing that's giving me hope right now, first of all, is just this organization existing and like seeing all these incredible people who just want to make a difference. Like that gives me all the hope that I ever need. But also like mentoring everyone that is a part of Bulletproof Pride and helping them find their voice and find the policy issues that they care about, that they are now seeing on their local levels. And like even with like one of my friends, like I help them like with their like speech writing, so they like learn like how to do like specific like gun violence prevention wordings and how to like not trigger people when they speak and things like that. And having going from like helping them write their speeches to then them delivering speeches to the state legislature, like just seeing like that personal growth is giving me all the hope that I need right now, because I'm able to see all this hard work paying off, even if it's not on the national scale that we would like. All it takes is one person. A lot of the outward work that we do obviously deals with a lot of school shootings, given the fact that almost everyone in the organization is a student. So that is something that we are regularly interacting with in our lives. But gun violence is so much bigger than school shootings and mass shootings that we're seeing. It is like suicide attempts, like you mentioned. It is domestic violence. It is hate crimes and like racial prejudice and homophobia and transphobia. And there's so many other variables that go into gun violence, and that is really what Bulletproof Pride tries to target. The first few like meetings and events that we had, where it's like, yeah, we're a gun violence prevention organization, but we're also a human rights org. We need a national place where youth are able to come and experiment with their gender identity, like switch up their pronouns if they want to, try a different name with us, live their authentic selves, while also contributing to social issues that they deeply care about. I think as an organization, a big goal is to officially file for like our C3 and C4 status, because we already have our C4, but like expanding to be C3 so we can get grants and be more sustainable in some of the work that we're doing. That's a little bit less like directly involved with like lobbying and political efforts. I mean, Bulletproof Pride started with like me and 5 of my friends from 5 different organizations coming together and be like, let's do this. And going from like 5 people to then like 20 people to now almost 100 people has been really exciting, and I can't wait to see us keep growing.
Inclusive storybooks, combined with its decision to withhold notice to parents and to forbid opt-outs, substantially interferes with the religious development of their children and imposes the kind of burden on religious exercise that Yoder found.
Our future is not up for debate, and our history is under attack by all these different institutions, and that is our responsibility as the next generation to fight back.
LGBTQ plus advocates showed up to the Supreme Court after the decision. They spoke about what this means for future generations.
Absolutely damaging for LGBTQ youth going forward, because if you don't see yourself in materials and you don't see yourself actually in curriculum and being represented, it makes it feel like you're not even there.